Hi everyone, it's Aga from EurekaCrystalBeads.com, and this is the fifth of the 5 quick tutorial videos in the series where I show you more ideas to use our cosmic cluster design, which you can make with our Beadway boxes. Before I get started, just a quick reminder to check out the rest of the channel, and if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you always know when we're posting new content. Now, for those of you who don't know them, Beadway boxes are Eureka exclusive color coordinated bead sets, which you can use however you like, of course, but they also feature easy video tutorials for a design using these very beads in the box. Each box allows you to make multiple elements using the main tutorials. So in this video series, I will be using the limited fall colorway here for this. So let's start. This last video in our series is going to be for a necklace using the cosmic cluster design in the fall colorway. It's going to be so simple, you won't believe it. So what you're going to need to make it, you're going to need 3 or more because you can hang as many of these cosmic cluster elements on your necklace as you want. I will be using 3 because I just like that number. And it also looks nice in my opinion. You're going to need some kind of wire. I'm going to be using soft flex wire, the more strands. This one has 21, the better because it's more supple. And we're going to be doing one kind of like a bend, a twist, a loop. So you might want to use something that's more flexible and less stiff. So 21 strands or 49 strands is going to be the best. This one is 0.014 inches, which is 0.35 millimeter. And this is, I think, the optimal size, but it can be thinner. I wouldn't recommend anything thicker because what we're going to be doing is putting the wire through your elements like this. So we want it to kind of fit through the 15-0s. We're also going to need something to secure our necklace. These are 1.8 crimp tubes. You're going to need 2 of them. You're also going to need 2 wire guards for the ends of our necklace, some jump rings to connect the necklace to the clasp. I'm going to be using a regular like toggle clasp. Use any clasp that you like, because any will be good for this necklace. And that's all that you're gonna need. Maybe some pliers to open and close those rings, but that's it. And to crimp those crimp tubes as well. So flat nose pliers maybe. Okay, so I have all my components ready. As you can see, I also put out some beads because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making a sort of a beaded rope, like a rope of beads. So I'm going to just put the beads on my wire until I reach half of the length that I want. And that's where I'm going to be adding the 3 decorative cosmic cluster elements. And then I'm going to continue adding the rest of the beads. And I don't cut off anything from the spool yet because I want to add everything on first. Then I'll finish this end and only then I'll cut it off and finish the other end so that no wire is wasted. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put on beads on my wire in a sequence that I like, so you can use any sequence that you like. So this is going to be my sequence. It's going to be like an 8-0, a bugle, 3 15-0s, bugle, 8-0, and so on and so forth. Because I really like kind of the combination of these colors, and then these other colors that we have in the Beadway box are going to just pop in these in the center of the necklace. So I'll keep doing that and I'll come back to you when I'm finished. And by finished, of course, I mean once I've reached almost half of the length that I want my necklace to be. Okay, so I completed less than a half of my necklace. I want it to be like 15 and a half inches. And I'm at a 6 3/4 point because now I'm going to add the 3 elements and they're going to be added like one next to another. So that's why I stopped before I reached half, and I'm going to add the first one in this way so that the 15-0 on the element will replace kind of the second 15 in my sequence. So I ended on this first 15 and now I'm picking up my element and just putting it through instead of this 15 here. Now another 15 and I make a full sequence, or two actually, because we do need some space before we add the next one. And now I'm stopping at the 8-0. So as you can see, I have like a full sequence from that element that I added, and then this 8-0, because what I'm going to do with the middle one is I'm going to like create a loop and wrap around this 8-0 so that the central element kind of gives the necklace a special shape so that it's not just round. You can obviously make it just round, but what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pick up 3 15-0s, an 8-0, and 3 more 15-0s. Like that, and now I'm going to add the second of the elements. Just I need to make sure I'm putting it the right way because we're going to be making like a loop. This is going to be a side of our loop here. So I need to put this actually backwards with respect to the previous one. So I would normally put it this way, but I'm going to put it the other way so that when the loop is made, right, it hangs in the same direction facing the same side, because this is what I'm going to be doing, like a loop. All right, the same sequence on the other side, which is 3 15-0s, an 8-0, and 3 more 15-0s. And now I'm going to be looping this around. So this is the loop that I've created. And I just go through this 8-0 on top over here so that I have a loop like this. So now the necklace is going to look more like that. It's going to have like a particular shape. Right, it's time to add the third one on this side. So just like on this side, I added a full sequence and a bit so that the 15-0 that is in the element is going to be like the middle 15-0 in the sequence. So I'm just adding the cosmic cluster, just making sure that it's facing the front, and continuing with my design. Alright, so the necklace is done. All that's left to do is to finish the ends. For this, I'm going to be needing my cutting pliers and my chain nose pliers or any other taper pliers. So I'm picking up a crimp tube and putting it on my wire, just like this. And now time for the wire guard. So I put the wire into one end of the wire guard and through the other end from the top and through the crimp tube. Now pulling it together quite tight and only leaving a little bit of tail, not too much. Don't worry about the beads, we're going to slide them on later. Now I'm going to squish the crimp tube quite strong on one side and then on the other. Alright, just making sure it's secure. Now what I need to do is to slide some of the beads on the wire if I can, because sometimes the hole will be too small, and don't worry about that, and just clip the wire next to the crimp tube. In this case, I was able to slide the bugle bead onto the wire, now just making sure it's all the way through. I think I'll be able to put this 8/0 on it as well. And let's see about this bugle bead. I'm not sure about that. Okay, I think I'm just going to leave it without that and trim the wire right there after the 8/0 and use your cutting pliers or wire cutters. Don't use scissors because they make it blunt. Okay, let's slide the beads closer to your end. And slide everything else so that it's nice and tight. Not too tight because we still want it to be quite supple. Alright, time to finish the other end. So I'm cutting just enough so that I have a little bit of a margin. Maybe right there. Alright, and you just do the same thing. So I'm picking up a crimp tube, putting it on. And a wire guard, up one hole and down the other hole and down the crimp tube. There, just like that. Now tighten it all up. As I said, not too tight because we don't want it stiff, we want it supple. And time to squeeze on one side and on the other. Right, and now the only thing left to do is to open up our jump rings and put the clasp on. So I'm opening the jump ring, putting on the wire guard with the wire first and 1/2 of the clasp, closing it up. And the other one. I'm using round nose pliers because that's just what I had at hand. Use chain nose pliers if you have them. Now the second half of the clasp, maybe I'm gonna need to open it a little bit more wide for the clasp to fit, like that. And closing it up. And there, the necklace is basically done. It's easy to put on and to open and close. That's what it looks like. Alright guys, that's it for this tutorial. This is what the necklace looks like. Of course, you can put more or fewer cosmic cluster elements on it, and you don't have to make this little loop. You can just string them on as you go. In other videos from the series, we show you how to make different pieces of jewelry with a cosmic cluster, so make sure to check them out. And also make sure to check out our different new fall colorways for the other Beadway Box designs, like the Baroque Blossom earrings or the tiny diamond dangle earrings. All the materials that I've shown you today can be found at eurekacrystalbeads.com. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial, hope you liked it, and see you in the next one. Bye!